Hey everyone, Dan here with another video, and today we're talking My Hero Academia Vigilantes Chapter 81, titled Versus B-Pop. I guess that's supposed to be a cute little riff on J-Pop. Anywho, the fight between Popstep and Koichi has finally begun, and it looks like Koichi might be in some big trouble by the end. So without further ado, let's stop the B-puns, get out of the rain, and grab ourselves a drink and talk some Vigilantes. Alright, so Vigilantes Chapter 81. The chapter starts off with a what-if scenario. I know, some people want to say it's a flash forward, but this is definitely Popstep having a massive psychotic episode. She's envisioning a future where her and Koichi are married and they have a child. Like, she envisions them having the whole nuclear family experience, when it cuts away to a sadistic-looking Popstep saying that the type of future that she's thinking of doesn't exist for her anymore. That she's made her bed, now she's gotta lay in it. The action starts off with her declaring that she's gonna be singing her newest single, Bloom. From there, we find out that Koichi was told by Soga that if the bees hear Popstep singing, they're going to instantly enter attack mode. See, she doesn't have control of the bees normally. Why? Well, it could be trigger related, or it could be the fact that number 6 bred a new queen bee from a drone but not the original body. But for some reason, when she starts singing, the bees all enter attack mode. So, Popstep sings her song and Koichi dodges her precise explosions, and in return, he fires back some, trying to destroy some of the bees that are charging at him. Now, I'm not going to quite talk about the true meaning of Popstep's song yet. It's a little bit of a spoiler, so we'll wait till the end for that. If you know the context, though, you know exactly where we're headed. So, hold off on that, because we're going to move over to Tsukauchi and Endeavor first. Tsukauchi points out that the explosions have kind of changed pattern, and that it kind of looks like a mid-air battle is taking place now. Endeavor, in the typical meathead fashion, recites what he's been saying since the last chapter, that when his cooldown ends, he's going to solve this entire problem. We then move to the Hata Bros Cafe. The citizens of Naruhata are watching and listening to Popstep's song, while some are like, yo, this is a new bop. People like her fellow idols notice the context of her lyrics. They realize what Popstep's words truly mean, and they call them pathetic and desperate. The chapter then flashes over to Popstep. She begins to monologue, and we see the bees begin to gather around her. They continue to fly at Koichi and explode to keep him away. Suddenly, the bees begin forming a circle around Popstep. The realization sinks into the onlooker from afar, Tsukauchi. Pop is planning to blow herself up, ending her life. She monologues some pretty mean and downright heavy stuff towards Koichi, saying that every time Koichi will look at a sunset, he'll remember the one girl that he wasn't able to save. And as Koichi begins to fall through the sky from the explosions, he pulls out his master's grappling hook, hooking onto a nearby building. We get a cool little side scene where Soga gives him the grappling hook because he knew that Koichi's quirk was going to take a shit, and the grappling hook would probably come in handy if that happened. So, he uses the grappling hook and launches himself at Popstep one more time, using a double jump on top of that, and using that momentum, he reaches out for Popstep. Popstep notices Koichi, and seeing his face that distressed and emotional, semi-shatters the mind control that Queen Bee had over her. On top of the trigger overdose that she's experiencing, it looks like the bees are kind of dispersing a bit too. Immediately after though, she's shot in the chest. Her eyes open wide and Koichi's expand even bigger, and in the last page, the shooter is revealed, and you know exactly who it is. Standing there with the smoking gun is the villain, number 6, stating that he is here to make sure that Popstep gets her ending. And that's how the chapter ends. Talk about depressing and action-packed all in one. I have a feeling that the next chapter, though, isn't going to make us feel any better. This chapter starts out very dreamy and then goes 0 to 100 real quick. I mean, we're going from a scene that's so wholesome and dialogue heavy to this slowly devolved narrative that involves us seeing Popstep's delusion make her want to commit suicide. The main thing that we're going to talk about today is the plan of number 6. If you went back 3 chapters, I had no idea what this guy was going to be planning, and now it's starting to become a lot more linear. See, I originally had predicted that Koichi was going to take out Popstep, and Endeavor would get the wrong idea. Instead, number 6 pulled a gun and shot her. Now we don't have to go off the rails here to deduce what number 6's plan is really anymore. With the murder of Popstep, Koichi is fully set up. All that 6 has to do is either plant the gun on Koichi or fake an injury. That way, when Endeavor arrives on scene, the registered hero, Rock Nomura, tells Endeavor that he wrestled the gun away from the vigilante, but not before the crawler was able to kill Popstep and the surrounding heroes. Or he just hides the gun altogether and passes it off as Koichi's quirk. Either way, this would cause Endeavor to chase down Koichi, bringing the fight to the people of Naruhata. As for our supporting cast, starting with Soga and the boys, they're Popstep's lifeline at this point. There's a massive amount amount of traffic, and unless some wild coincidence happens, I really doubt that the van with Racked and Moyu is going to be able to make it to the closed off streets. But on the off chance that it does, their plan necessitated Popstep being shocked, not shot. So now Popstep needs immediate medical attention beyond what they were probably equipped for. So the boys need to figure out how to stop Popstep's bleeding so she doesn't die and get her to the hospital. Additionally, if Soga's the one who makes it there because he's on a motorcycle, he could try to help Popstep, but the threat of number 6 just killing him is just there, you know? They didn't plan for number 6. But let's say they don't make it to the streets in time, who will? Well, what if Knuckleduster shows up to take on number 6 one final time? That would give us the final battle that we wanted. Granted, Koichi might still lose his shit in the next chapter to number 6, so, you know, what if Popstep actually dies? That would be insane to have Vigilantes end with Koichi having his love getting Gwen Stacy'd. He's probably going to attack number 6 depending on how bad the situation is. Will he try to, rescue Popstep, or will he attack number 6, The gunshot wound looks like she was shot in the chest. And remember, this is written and drawn for a constructed narrative. So, even though it's a through and through gunshot wound, which in most cases is actually a really good way to be shot in a morbid way of thinking. But when you get shot in the chest, your odds of dying are significantly higher than being shot in the belly. If Furuhashi wants Popstep to live though, she will survive this. My guess is she will, unless this turns out to be some crazy Kakashi Gaiden story for Koichi to make his entrance in My Hero Academia as the guy that Deku needs to absolutely trust in some crazy ass situation. Also, to address some tweets that I've received and seen, I know some people think that number 6 shot Popstep with a dose of trigger to make her continue her rampage. The thing is, when you're under the effects of trigger, the Queen Bee quirk has less control on you. So, if number 6 hit her with an additional dose of trigger, it would more likely be that, not only does she overdose, but the Queen Bee quirk probably would lose most of its control. And when you think about it, we did see her snap out of it. When she saw Koichi's face, she began to snap out of it. It's why number 6 shot her. But I think in a way, number 6's plan just needs Popstep to die. Number 6 wants the story to end with Koichi being locked away in the depths of Tartarus. Will that happen? Well, put it this way, I told you my 2 cents earlier in the week when I dropped my Compass Kid video. I really suggest you check that one out, because frankly, I think Compass Kid is gonna appear at the end and sell out number 6, and finally get his unsung hero moment. But yeah, that's all I have to say about the chapter. If you liked today's video, be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell, and be sure to throw a like up too. But before we sign off today, on a personal note, today's video contains scenes of characters displaying suicidal tendencies. Suicide has affected me personally in my life, so I have taken the liberty to look up the suicide hotline in various countries around the world. And if you're ever feeling these thoughts, I want you to know that this is the bar where you are always welcome. 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. I appreciate you all, and never, ever, ever, ever apologize for just existing. Be excellent to each other. Peace.